Hello, I'm Nick, and I did intro to, or fundamentals of poi. So we talked about our planes, and we dropped our poi for just a second to think about this. We've got our wall plane, which is right in front of us if we were pressed up against the wall. We've also got a back wall plane right behind us. And then we've got the hallway plane, which goes along our sides. And then we've got the floor plane and the ceiling plane. So most of our movement that we did was in the hallway plane, and we practiced a little bit about this with this movement. This is a same time, same direction movement in the hallway plane, and it's almost like we're skiing. You know, we're just bringing it in along our sides and we're practicing this movement. We then practiced splitting it up into split time, so that each beat is on its own time. They're opposites basically. And then we started talking about weaves. So we brought our split time spinning poi up together, and it's really important to focus on these planes, because if they were a big disc, they would be rolling that way away from you, as opposed to sort of crossing the body, or as opposed to sort of coming inward like this. And it's good to practice that, actually. Like, force yourself to go in a little bit so that you can bend them back to be straight, or maybe go out a little bit so that you can bend them back to be straight. So from here we talked about a weave, and we touched on 2-beat weave, but we kind of went straight into 3-beat weave, which is a wrist over wrist motion. So doing it on one poi, the right hand is going to go over the left wrist, and we practiced just being able to sustain this, because it's a weird beat and you're gonna have it bend, but you want to practice sustaining it. So it's going to go over the wrist, and then under the wrist, and then back out on its own side. Make sure you practice both of those. Make sure you're comfortable with sustaining those planes. So once you mix it together, you've got your split time, you're on in front. You're going to just go ahead and cross once and sustain right here. This is a really good practice. So again, you can see my planes are crossed right now. They're a little wonky, and it's going to make it hard to open back up. So you train yourself to just keep scooping along each side until they're straight, and they're sort of pointed straight ahead. And then you can go under the wrist and switch. Again, you just want to make sure that those planes are straight, and eventually you can start to weave them together to do this wrist over wrist idea. Now, just to kind of break it down, each native arm is going to go on the non-native side over the wrist, and then non-native side under the wrist, and then native side. Those are the 3 beats. Over, under, back out. Over, under, and back out. And when you mirror that together, this right arm is going to do 2 beats on the left side and only 1 beat on the right side, but the left arm is going to do 1 beat on the right side and 2 beats on the, 1 beat on the left side and 2 beats on the right side. And when you mix that together, you get this weave pattern. You can count, it helps to count. So when my right hand is going to go over the left arm, it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So one way to know how to transition to the other side is that it's one arm will always lead to the other side. So in this case, my right hand is going to go from the right side to the left side, and then my left side is going to lead from the left side to the right side. So right side leading, left side leading, right side leading, left side leading, right side 2, 3, left side 2, 3, right side 2, 3, left side 2, 3. We also touched a little bit on this horizontal movement, which is a 2-beat movement. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. You can go above your head if you need to, or straight out in front. We slightly talked about this, but we didn't really dig into it that much. It's just the 4-beat equivalent, where you're adding around the wrist motion on the top and the bottom. We also didn't dig too far into this, but you can go and practice it, where you go and add an extra beat to get a 5-beat weave. And that happens when you force your body basically to do one more wrapping. It's going to tangle. It's definitely going to tangle. So just keep forcing that one extra beat until you realize that you're just switching up which hand is leading. So normally my right leads to the left, left leads to the right. But in the 5-beat, left leads to the left, and the right leads to the right.
3D is cool.